Your judgment is going to come in the form of your condemnation of others. Because you're going to condemn people for stuff that they don't deserve to be condemned for, and you might be doing the same thing and don't even know it. So when people start saying stuff like this guy, he put a whole debunking Ryan Hayes video out talking about me and my people doing surveillance on him. First of all, who the f is you? Why would I even be interested in you, piece of trash, $5, $2, $3 nigga? I have no interest in nothing he doing. Now, if that would have been Donald Trump or Vladimir Putin or somebody with some real appearing to have some stroke, I probably would have been remote viewing them if I didn't have be able to read what I seen on the surface. But some little Rudy Poot that live in some little backwood hick town that I don't know nothing about, why would I care what you doing? Your concern for my care is worse than how much I actually do. Because soon as you find out I don't really give a F, your whole life will change for the better. But in Stoic philosophy, the obstacle is the way. Sometimes what look like haters be helpers in disguise.
I see.
So don't always believe that a person is hating. They just struck your emotions because you protective. They're your people.
Get on the elephants. Let's just get on these elephants and complete the elephant. He said, Jay Ward said, let's just get on the elephants and complete Hannibal's mission. I say, they not like us. The nigga that look like us go as far as to eat us. They live in the cave system under Switzerland. Supreme consciousness.
They doing tours of the cave they used to live in under the Swiss Alps.
Not to cut you off, we got 444. I thought that was amazing. Right now we got 444 in here. Y'all keep going though.
Yeah. So most of them are gone. Most of them is gone. Whether they was executed or whether they was just shipped off the planet, I can't tell you, but they ain't here no more. Because they doing tours in the underground tunnel system they was living in the Swiss Alps now, letting you see what it looked like. So if you want to know what it looked like, go on YouTube and say Swiss Alps underground city, and it's going to be showing. It ain't going to show you the juicy stuff though. It's still only showing you like the watered down parts of it where you don't know the big opulent cathedrals they was having blood drinking parties and stuff. They're not going to show you that part.
Somebody
but you will get to see.
Jay Ward said the matriarch energy, aka the elephants that clear the path for Hannibal. Let's just finish the Hannibal. They send out negative vibration in our monkey mind system. Be careful sending out negative energy. Right now we're in 808. People don't quite understand what 808 represents. It's a loop. If you send negative energy out, be careful because it's coming right back full time. Like if you right now we're putting positive energy out, we put matriarch energy out, we putting love energy out, we putting trying to each one teach one energy. So if you send some crazy stuff, it's a boomerang, and that's something I just realized about the boomerang. The boomerang it's a spiritual tool. Did you know that?
Well, it's always been spiritual to the Aussies who've been using them for thousands of years. They tell stories. They used to carve stories into the boomerang. Spiritual stories.
Yeah, the boomerang, the ones that violated the first mothers, they sent the boomerang out and it returned and killed the deity that attacked the first mother. This is ancient folklore talking about the matriarch and the war on the matriarch. The gender wars, like my brother Women Make Heaven always talks about the gender wars. War shippers, yeah, right. Real recognized real chief is a real one. Few far in between, I say. I saw that. They said they saw that. Yeah, we all saw it. Thank y'all for the love. Spider Woman, I say thank you for the love. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss some of these questions. Whoever said that, is it funny No, nobody trying to see you. No, man, a lot of people got mental health problems too, and they got access to cell phones. Trust and believe. We've ran into a bunch of that agents, etc. Let's talk about conquering this time spell. I like that one. The vital thread said, let's talk about conquering this time spell. Since we talking about bonus, since we talking about being in this loop, they're talking about being in, breaking the time spell. I like that. Like, how are we gonna manifest to break out this time spell? You hear me, Chief?
You got to see it to achieve it.
I see.
If you still worried about what somebody else doing, or if somebody gonna oppress you, your oppressor coming because you calling them. If you start seeing your life as prosperous and all of this wickedness being swept away, the more of us can see it, the more likely it is to manifest, and the faster. The more of us do it, the faster.
Yo, they're asking amazing questions. I can't let this just slide by. Plus, is a brother that say he fall up under that Coco Pele 314. What is Rod take on the craft that's supposed to be arriving soon? The one that they talking about, like more and more.
There's more than one. One's supposed to get here in October, one supposed to get here in November, and I think it's a third one supposed to get here in September. Then that don't got nothing to do with the ones that just was seen in Hawaii, I think it was, or none of the solar ships that's been disembarking with the solar eruptions parking around the sun. So it's a whole lot going on. I don't like talking about it because we so focused on the stars, we ain't worried about Earth.
It's a lot of instructions. It's a lot of instructions. It is what it is. Channel Harmony, matriarch. We appreciate you too. You always showing love and support. Appreciate you too. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give a giveaway today too, man. If y'all could like, subscribe, comment, I'm gonna give a free piece away. Don't believe the comma. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to New Zealand. Someone said they're in here from New Zealand. We be having people in here from Australia all the time. That's amazing. Like that's crazy. I'm telling you, like somebody from Africa hit me up and they were like, yo, brother, that's not all of us. They have their own version of boulets that come over here. Like when I was at the Bronze Kingdom, I was around this beautiful, beautiful black Nigerian girl. So I'm talking to her and we're around all these artifacts. And she said, she don't mess with none of that. She just here for the job. So I'm like, I didn't comprehend what she meant. And she was like, I'm glad that what them Europeans did. I'm glad that they did what they did to us. You see what I'm saying? And because in her mind, they were civilized. And we don't understand all the tribal things they got going on and wars and all sorts of different things. Like they look at the white man as a savior, and that's our biggest divide with them. But it's a lot of them that still show love too, though. What you were saying, G?
Oh, I want to say I'm listening to you.
The angles that make up the boomerang are as important. I'll say it's almost like the signature.
If it's wrong angle, it ain't gonna come back.
I say just like
you gotta be made exactly at the right angle, the right pitch.
If you're looking at the spiritual aspect, what's that 4 percentage? The 5% spiritual and 4% physical on the Masonic compass and
square.
And compass square. 144 likes as I entered the chat. Nice, I say, Miss Libra. How does the light shine through your prism? That's a dope question. How does the light shine through your prism?
Mine is convergent. Most people's are divergent. They go out into the different. Mind absorbs the different wavelengths and solidifies them into a single link, a single beam of light.
Supreme consciousness went hard. She said, or he said, the guy said, take your ball and go home. That breaks the time spell. Stop playing the game with these people.
That's the coldest game right there. I've been saying that. I said that 5 years ago. People thought I was crazy. What you mean take your ball and go home? Quit participating. If you deny them your participation, who they gonna be at war with? You know, they tell you to meet us on the battlefield. That means come protest. And we don't show up. Look, Stone, I was telling Sister Freedom the other day, I was like, I don't have to boycott nobody. You know why? If you don't treat me right, you ain't getting my money in the first damn place.
That's who mess with you, bro.
I don't care where you from.
Yep.
You could be my cousin, my auntie. If you don't treat me right, I'm not finna give you my money, my
Fact.
time, my energy, my effort. And half the time, I be looking for a fuck to give.
Why do people want to be like they want to be involved? The world is vast. The world is vast, and we got so many amazing things that you could be doing instead of going somewhere where you're not wanted. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. The world is so vast and beautiful. Where, like I say, collective, where you can find somebody where you can go meditate with, where you can go vibe with, where you go chill with, where you go enjoy nature with, where you can enjoy your art with. So I don't see why people want to. Oh, they're making their own town. Good. That's less motherfuckers I got to worry about being around me. Or with, I don't care what nobody got going on as long as stay out my way. Women Make Heaven says I heard him mention Hathor. Ask him what he knows about the Hathor temple.
Yeah, it's all up there at the Hathor Temple in Arizona.
In Arizona, I say.
You got an Isis Temple, Osiris Temple, a Buddha Temple.
Somebody said, are you familiar with Madame Blavatsky?
That's my baby there. Madam
Okay.
H.P. Blavatsky, the founder of the Theosophical Society. Her most prominent works being Isis Unveiled and The Secret Doctrine. Some of the best reading I ever got.
Let me write that down so I can do the research on that myself.
Ooh, those some heavy reads, boy. You got to be focused to read them, though.
Guess what? I love it. I love it. Like I say, you connecting minds. This is cerebral. Now it's connecting. They're giving us clues. They're giving somebody in the comment like that's each one teach one. We all connecting each other. They also asked in the land of Mu.
Some of her greatest students became prominent on their own, like Rudolf Steiner, Annie Besant. They became excellent teachers on their own. Rudolf Steiner got some of the coldest stuff you want to read. And he go into a lot of different topics on metaphysical stuff. You gotta remember then the Thule Society that Adolf Hitler was part of, they were heavily into the research of the writings of Madame Blavatsky. So she is a very powerful Russian lady. And the picture that they be showing us, she looked like that, but she ain't that light. I'm gonna let that sink in. They got pictures with her with these three Mahatmas, an actual picture, and she is no ways as light as they paint her to be in later years. I wonder why.
Sure, I see. The brother said, hello, brothers, Rod and Stone. Can you go in a little about Canada and the U.S. trade talks? Thank you. Akati,
All that smoke and mirrors. Canada and U.S. trade talk is smoke and mirrors. The border between Canada and the United States, because they got the same QSIP number, they're the same corporation. When you get rid of the corporation, the military part of it in America, you also get rid of the political part in Canada. That's what Queen Diallo is doing up there. You know, so you got different people doing different stuff on different parts of the land, but we all moving in the same direction. And all of them don't look like us, because in some of the places, the people that look like us was too intimidated to do the work. You let them crackers kill me.
Let me see. I'm trying to get all these questions. So you said giveaway, yes. Just like my bronze lion bracelet, I wanted to give one away to the universe. We'll figure out how I do this later on. Just for all the love that everybody's been showing. This is brass. This comes from Africa, from the Ashe Network. He gave me a couple of different things or whatever. I love it. He gave me the ring, the match, and everything else. I had an extra one. Wanted to put it in the universe, show some love. Lionsgate Portal. We need another Seven Beaumont Rod Hayes lecture. Yeah, Seven Beaumont he is amazing. I'm a big fan of the Overmind. They said they want to get you another Seven Beaumont Rod Hayes lecture.
Yeah, Seven know exactly what I be talking about.
Yeah, y'all on the same type time. Right.
Look, I hadn't, you the one told me about him first, right? So when I got a chance to do a live with him, I was like, heck yeah, I want to see what he talking about. So we get to chopping it up. And if I'm saying stuff, he pulling up the receipts.
Yeah, no, man. What's funny is I told you your cousin was the one that actually like brought me into the fold. Like somebody in the comments said, shout out to Mississippi. And it's crazy because in certain places where you don't have the knowledge, we looked harder for that information and knowledge. And I grew up in Gulfport, and your cousin was right down the street, and he ends up putting me up on all these different things. And one of them was Seven Bomar, Black Panther. Of course, I saw him on Sinetta when Sinetta was still, you know what I'm saying, Sinetta. And I saw Seven Bomar and Black Panther, and that really changed my life. He broke down the Overmind and everything else, because we're seeing these things, you having dreams, you having all these visions, and then he broke it down what all this was really about. So I really got a respect for Seven Bomar, whereas you're more of a people's person, like you're for the people. Same energy. When people came online, they all had their mission to go out there and teach it. You had some that did the Jonah thing and tried to hide. You had some of them that tried to capitalize on it, and then you had some that just said, "Fuck it, I'll do my job." And Seven Bomar does an amazing job. Yourself does an amazing job. Mo God, the Mo Show said, "Salute Chief Rod and Risha Stone, the most loved and hated. Rod always connecting major dots for the Ohm. So I say, you ain't lying. The most they show behave. Yes, my mama's son in the middle. I say is on Tisha in Nigeria, Africa, and Arisha connected. I don't want to talk on that. I'm not sure if I'm not even saying the word correctly. My connection to the Orisha isn't through Africa. My connection through the Orisha through Mississippi, through New Orleans. Like that's how I met the Orisha. So I'm not all the way connected with everything in Africa. For me, the Orisha are a universal construct. You won't civilize when your child and land is being exploited for monetary value. I say, higher the vibration, less there will be. Many can survive the altitude. Divine. I'm trying to be. If I'm missing anything, if I'm missing something, it's a lot of people. It's more than I thought, man. It's a lot of people hitting y'all up, man. Yeah, yo, please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Show Rod some love. His Cash App is pinned at the top. Feathers up to the tribe. Feathers up, most definitely. Rod, I live in Arizona. I want to make contact, Chief. I moved from Benton, Harbor, Michigan, I believe that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now I'm called up. Question, please say, y'all most definitely, please say if there is a connection between New Orleans, Gold Line, and the Lions Gate. Wow, that might be a good one. Did you hear me, G?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the question. I don't even know how to address that because New Orleans is so powerful, and we didn't open so many gates from the NO over the millennia that any portal connection that's happening in the stars, in the alignment of the stars, is New Orleans always gonna have a permanent opening to using that energy from ancestral priming of the location. Right? So you got so many people that in opened and closed gates use the gates to perform rituals and whatnot, that the energy automatically opens up around that time for the use of the energy because of years of use in the area. It's the frequency is like the lightning. Lightning takes the path of least resistance, right? Water takes the path of least resistance. The only reason that the earth doesn't take the path of least resistance is because it's the resistance. But even fire is always rising to the vent, right? So it's following a least resistance path, right? So when you enclose fire, you create something called backdraft that keeps the circulation of the air burning the fire. So the fire is rising up to the rising energy because it's easier to rise that way. So ether permeates all things. It's like sweat seeping out of your pores, right? If the exit is available, the sweat can use it, right? So It's the same way with nature. Nature uses the path of least resistance, and by continuously using something, you open it up again and again and again. Then this is called priming a location. That's what all the mounds is all over the land, right? They pre-primed locations that's supposed to have an energetic effect based on the movement of the stars. There's certain ones call people at certain times, whether they know it or they don't know it, they end up there, right? Now, a lot of time we are moving a neighborhood and feel so comfortable and so at home, but we don't even know it's built on top of a mountain.
Oh, I tell you. Yo, another good question, Dark Soul. He said, "Can you explain the Were Jaguar?" And I thought that was funny because one of the cards I pulled was this Jaguar card. And you know, for the Z people, or what we call the OMAC, the Jaguar represents growth. It says maturity is the ability to embrace change, and change cannot happen without death. The death does not necessarily mean physical death, but could be the ending of a relationship, a situation, simply your decision to not continue with the same old habits. But also, I would go one further. When you're talking about the Were Jaguar, you're talking about a specific area in South America that's on a lot of plant medicine, DMT, Shanga, etc. And when you do those things, if you ever do shrooms or any of those things, you can tap into the frequency and the elements around you. That's how you can talk to the feminine. That's how that's how everybody knows that everything is a feminine energy, because the trees are a feminine energy, the sky is a feminine energy. Everything talks to you. When you see that bright light, you're gonna hear a woman's voice. Likewise, when you're on shrooms and stuff like that, you can literally shapeshift your body into different things. Haru, hawk deities, serpent deities, and the jaguar is the ruling entity of that area. So you would tap into that energy, the jaguar energy, and yeah, they could take it to a whole nother level, but it's a spiritual rank. And it goes way deeper than anything we can break down. But yeah, look into, if you want to know about the Were Jaguar, look into the OMAC. Look into the OMAC and understand how deep that goes. What you got on the Were Jaguar, OG?
The jaguar, the spotted cat, is the first totem of the ancient priests. I don't care what part of the planet you go to, when you pull up a picture of an indigenous priest, he gonna have what look like leopard print on. This was a telltale sign that this is not the soldier, this is not the government, this is the priesthood. The black jaguar, we call it the Black Panther, right? Black Panther just means black cat. But in Mississippi culture, the Black Panther is a family of priests that use stealth means to discover problems, solutions, and sources. Right? The Black Panther is a black leopard if it's from the Americas, and most of the time, I mean, black jaguar, and most of the time, if it's in Africa, it's a black leopard. Right? But if you got a black lion, it's also a Black Panther. If you got a black tiger, it's also a Black Panther, right? So, Pantera, Panther, Pangea are all related in the original order of the priests, right? So, this is why we used to be able to take an African priest from Africa, a Hindu priest from India, an old shaman from Japan, bring them all to America, and they can't speak the same language, but they can speak the same spirituality using the symbols, right? Because the symbols carry more information than words alone can carry. So this is part of old totem magic and totem science of the totem animals. They call them spirit animals today because they don't want you to connect the totem poles of the indigenous tribes to the oldest system of magic on the planet.
I see. I say. Uh, Goddess, I believe, Sly Astute. I might be pronouncing that wrong. How does the Lion Gate energy of 808 play into the organic people becoming more aware of who they are? What practices were done this time?
Look, any of this magic shit, portals, any of that is only gonna have the effect according to the efforts being put forth by the individual. If the individual ain't put no preparations into using the energy, then the energy gonna bypass. They're not prepared to work with the energy, so the energy is not gonna work with them. And that go for any other portal gates opening. But when you understand what's going on with the portal gate opening and how your ancestors use it, you more likely to utilize the energy than if you had no knowledge of that history. Right? So now, because you got the blood, the potential for the prime location of the self is there, but the activation not present because you haven't done any practice. Right? Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan without going to practice. Sorry to tell you, it's not gonna never happen.
I like how you said that, OG, because sometimes people don't realize, even if you missed it this year, you like the Lionsgate portal isn't just one day; it's pretty much the whole month. And the funny thing about it is, if you miss it this year, you can catch it next year. But if you do catch it this year, like I was talking about plant medicine, DMT, and everything else, and you catch the sun coming up on the horizon, and you stare into the sun, you literally can stare into the sun and see portals. You can communicate. It's doing something like Morse code almost. It's not Morse code, but the way it's the reflecting light. Somebody said earlier about the reflection. That's all communication. They're reflecting it to you, and they're sending information through light. You see what I'm saying? So you can have certain stones that communicate back to them as well. So when you're on plant medicine, you're thinking real hard, focusing real hard on you're tapped into the frequency of the sun already. That's already an energy. If you get up, as soon as the sun gets up, right? And you might be able to do it tomorrow as well, because like I said, tonight's a full moon, tomorrow's a full moon. So it's like that energy is just real great for a manifestation. And people always think manifestation equals money, and I've been guilty of doing the same thing. And you'll get money, but then next year you'll be like, nah, man, like I got all that bullshit. Like, what do we need now? And the biggest thing we can do is, like I say, I'm glad we're having this conversation on Lionsgate Portal, because the first thing we need to do is manifest this matriarch get in his right position. If everything gets him to his right position by nature, you know what I'm saying? So
I always say if you put the right people in the places they belong, in other words, if you get the right people, they stuff back, then the machine gonna run the way it's supposed to run.
I say,
If it's not supposed to run that way, we gonna know in short order because it's gonna immediately start crumbling. But if you put it in the order that it's supposed to run in, it'll self correct all of the little menial problems that we have from day to day. They'll self correct.
man, I know y'all gonna give us some love and give us some likes, comments, and shares, because I'm trying to answer all y'all questions. They study coming. I want to make contact because I want to know why I moved here, Chief. I want to head to the Grand Canyon in Sedona. I want to understand my journey.
That's for you. That's what your journey for. You on the journey already. That means you already following some kind of map or path. If you following the path, you know that you gotta have a destination if you're going somewhere. You gotta periodically stop and take inventory of what have you just learned, because that's gonna be on your next test. When life get hard, that's when you're going through the test of everything you learned during the practice phase when it was easy. The problem with the test is everything on the test was in the practice, right? But everything in the practice is not going to be on the test. The test is going to condense the most difficult lessons over the particular period in order to force you to use it to see if you understand it. The spirit is not going to reveal to you your ability and you not prepared to receive it. You have to prepare yourself to receive your communication with spirit. And once you prepare yourself, you don't have to ask nobody nothing else. You already know everything. But you don't believe you when you tell you the answer, so you got to go get a reference. But once you understand how to question you, you're not allowed to lie to yourself.
Mm.
That's why as soon as you tell yourself that lie, you knew you was lying. As soon as you told yourself that lie and made that lie up to tell somebody else, you knew you was lying. You can't lie to yourself. You can trick yourself into believing the lie until it becomes a reality because you can't lie to yourself. So if you believe it hard enough, long enough, it becomes a reality. Right? Yep. You can't get a faculty you're not prepared to control. You can't get a psychic ability and it's going to scare the shit out of you. The universe don't work like that. You got to be ready to receive what the universe have to give, and you're the only one that can really truly prepare you for it. You can listen to 400 Rod Hayes lectures, 500,000 Malachi lectures, 250,000 Elijah Muhammad lectures. In the end of the day, how much of it is even relevant to you? If it can't be internalized and personalized, and it had nothing to do with you, for somebody else. Move on to what you can use. And the more you use what you're given, that means that you've learned to understand how to control it. The more control you develop of it. It's the same way with Michael Jordan when he was 13 years old as a basketball player compared to 33 years old. If he wasn't playing in the NBA against the best of the best of the best of the best, then he would never got that good because this competition wouldn't have been good enough to push him to that level. Your greatness is not determined by how many times that you avoided a fight. It's how many times did you get back up when somebody knocked your ass down and didn't back down. You only as good as your best competition.
I see.
And when you realize that the greatest of all competition is the self, that's when you start doing your shadow work. And that's when life get real. Life in the fast lane at that point for real.
I see. Yo, man, it's so many amazing questions. This is why I said, man, I love your channel. Whatever channel you be on, you don't get the dumb comments. You get some very powerful comments. Clarissa, maybe Claudette. But how do the vampires and casket girls from France play into an attack on the true spiritual force in New Orleans as well? I don't know if you know what she means.
I'm trying to find it now.
Man, I'm looking at this is 9:30. 9:30. I'm waiting to catch up with that one because, like I said, so many of them. It's a lot of amazing ones. If I don't get to them this time, my apologies. Put it in the comments on the post, and then we'll try to get back to them if it's really that serious for you. But I'm trying to get to them all as possible tonight, man. We gotta appreciate Rod. He ain't gonna be doing this long. He get tired of doing this all the time, especially with energy vampires that want to take from him and don't give back. The people that, you know what I'm saying, get in here and say this ignorant, crazy stuff when this man don't do nothing but give out good information. He ain't got none of the crazy scandals that a lot of other people got going on. You got to show him love. Like, I know this man for a minute. You still don't see the question that I was asking you?
I hadn't seen it, but it disappeared.
It said, but how do vampires and the casket girls from France play into an attack on the true spiritual force in New Orleans as well?
The first ones that came to New Orleans wasn't no pale-faced Frenchmen. Those were called Huguenots. And those people used conjure magic to fight conjure wars with the priests. Well, they didn't do too good So they tried to rely on the bloody warfare. But they came in sucking blood. Um, and they was tricking people using sleight of hand techniques to trick people out of belongings and stuff. So this is where a lot of the modern day con games came from. But those were Huguenots, is the term they was using as a secret society. They was from France. They was the same as conquistadors that was from Spain. They just was from France instead. And it was the gents or gentry out of England that was also instrumental. They brought the science of John Dee over here that he gave to Queen Elizabeth. So all of those were part of the conjure wars that was being fought contemporary with the military warfare on the ground.
Jakara Grace. They just had a comment. The mounds here in Tampa at Bay Shore. Thank you for that. Thank you for that key. Pre-gym right there. The mounds here in Tampa at Bay Shore kept calling me there after a few visits. I noticed the safe houses along Bay Shore. It's so many damn secrets. Chicago, for your eyes only. Chicago, the Bud, Billy.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
a parade they do every year in Chicago down what's called King Drive now.
yeah. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, they do the Bud Billiken parade. I think she said the governor is going to be out there.
Yep, that what you just said. Governor JB. They say you gonna be. Are they talking about you, Chief Pontiac, and Governor JB will be in attendance? I received a perfect.
They was telling me that the governor going to be in attendance.
Got you. If you ain't got power to fight, if you ain't got power to fight power, look at the Indians. They own reservations. They got all the spiritual shit too. But the white man controlling everything, and the black people still wish. I don't know. If that's, I mean, if that's how you feel, like if you ain't paying attention to the news is already telling you. Like a lot of stuff is already telling you we already won. I don't know if you're talking about Indians and reservations and all that, because last I checked, those Indians and reservations being kicked out, spiritual system being returned to the indigenous people on the land and the matriarch. So if that's where the reality you live, not my reality. I intend to make myself a walking billboard for Free Larry Hoover. Ashe. Free the chiefs of the land.
I hope that's all. I hope that's all he see when he go through that parade on both sides of the street. Every step, he can't get away from Free Larry Hoover posters.
I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Yin Yang Princess. That's why I didn't say it last time, and I don't wanna misunderstand you. Property Point, largest mound, and they place Catholic graveyards on top of them. Yeah, down here, fam, used on top of the largest mound in Tallahassee, but the largest mound in Florida is Turkey Scratch. But they do put mound. They put all sorts of stuff on the mounds, but that just helps you still. If you know where it's at, you still can go and like tap into that energy. Ain't nothing stopping you. Child salutes. Appreciate all the comments, man. I'm gonna go and ask this question. They asked it like 5 times. Yin Yang Princess, Rod mentioned the video of the African slave market where the white man did not go to Arisha Stone play it. I'm not sure they keep saying the same thing.
Okay, look, I was on Unscrambled Minds the other day, and one of the sisters played a video. After she heard me tell her that the European, pale-faced European, was Johnny come lately to the slave trade. Right? Slave trade was pretty much over when pale faces got involved. And before that, it was people that looked like us, them Tipper Tib Negroes. Look up Tipper Tib, you will understand what I'm talking about. Those was your slave traders. He was the premier slave trader of record as being the most prolific slave trader ever recorded, right? So when I told her that the European wasn't the main ones trading in human capital, she said, wait a minute, I got a video to show you. and she pulled the video up, and the African dude is giving the history of the slave trade in Ghana at one of what's they call the slave depots where they transport the slaves out to be. And he said by the time the pale faced European came, the slave trade was abolished. And he was like, no European ever came to Africa and took no people out of there.
Okay, I hope that answered the question. Real quick, I already know your agent page. You want to call yourself side hoe, but just to throw it out there, since you put it out there,
If somebody call themselves side hoe, don't dignify nothing they say with a response.
because they say all you people still believe in all snake or bullshit. What do you people be saying? Clearly, you're not from around here, but none of us is blaming nothing on nobody. We doing our own thing. This is guys and goddesses over here building our own thing. On a Friday night with this 808 portal, you could be doing anything in the universe, and yet you're here. So clearly, the brother's saying something right. So we know your agent. We know it's a fake page. Cut it out, man. Stop it. Like, what they call them, tethers. Let me see.
Not just a regular side hoe, either side hoe number 3. That means there's 2 side hoes before that one.
I've been watching it for a minute. I'm like, I was ignoring you, but you put so much energy into this. So I'm like, whatever. How do we proceed to reclaim our tribal lands and territories? Do you fuck paperwork? I'm sorry, the fucking paperwork. He said, do we use paperwork or oral tradition? And I'll let you answer, but in short,
fuck that. I answered that question so many times. I keep saying the same thing. The answer not gonna change. The answer not gonna change.
The answer is not gonna change.
They're not gonna keep repeating it.
It's already been done. Like I said, when I call out those matriarchs, look up who they are. Look up what they're talking about, because all you gotta do is get information.
It's so many sisters, matriarchs, that's putting work in across the land.
And when they pop up, they're not on the internet. Well, some of them are, but some of them ain't. When they do pop out, just
most of them not.
Most of them not. Shout out Mama Kali. Remember that name. Shout out Mama Kali. Most definitely remember that name. Shout out Boomy. They most definitely getting the lands back, and they doing it through tradition. Chief Night Crave. Chief Rod Hayes, tell the haters, picture me rolling in my 500 Benz. I got no love for Uniters. There's no need to be friends, I say.
Yep. Don't forget the next part. They got me under surveillance. That's what he be telling. It's dope being sold, but I ain't the one selling.
The connecting dots. That's why I said even the comment section, you bring intelligent minds, even the comment section hard. They said, for your eyes only, Nipsey Hussle is also Sun Leo life path number 1. We are a certain universe frequency code map. I say.
I wonder if he kept popping up on my page today.
So what you say, Chief?
I said, no wonder his energy kept popping up on my page today.
Man, it's so many comments, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for showing up and supporting. Like we made a whole live just off the comments. Appreciate everybody. If I miss anybody, man, my apologies. Rod, man, what else? What other comments you got for the people, real quick? And for all the haters that made it this far, got you. Made you look. What you got for him, Chief?
I'm reading the comment right now.
Yes, sir. It's so many of them.
Yeah, I was reading Kenethius Whitley comment, and he asking about the deep, cold, spiritual sense of the people in the Ohio Valley, especially Kentucky. I'm not talking about history books or surface culture, but he concur. I'm not sure what he's asking me, and that's the comment I was reading.
Okay. Somebody said vampires are real. Don't let them in your house. Man, we already let them in the culture. Y'all don't know vampires. Y'all saw one like in your face. You looking at the bare minimum stuff, but the vampires is already in the culture. You talking about let them in the house? They're already in your speakers. Yeah, I don't know that. I believe Hollywood swarm vampires most definitely. Yeah, man. They just enjoying your energy, Chief. Right at this point, I see now a lot of them just like they just want to talk to you and everything and appreciate your energy. Um, Man, shout out to all the matriarchs, all the warriors standing on that matriarch line. I don't want to hold you, just be talking. Anything that you want to address to the tribe, Chief?
Nothing in particular. You know me. I didn't have nothing to say when you asked me to come.
Man, listen. But you said so much and you put us on so much game and everything else. Like each one teach one, and it's building. Like I said, we build a network. That's the most important thing. People talking about followers and people worshiping you because they don't know what a network is. But the whole time they were designed to keep the network from coming together the way you're putting it together. So we appreciate you, Chief. Like for real, for real.
Can't nobody stop what's coming.
They can't stop what's coming. Like dead serious, man.
And anybody that decide that they want to hate on Rod Hayes, let them. Cause when the reality smack them in their face and they find, and I don't have to tell them who I am. Government gonna tell them who I am.
And look, they ain't paying attention. Clearly, they're not paying attention because a lot of the so-called, how do you hate now in this day and age when you've been doing this for years and years?